Put a marker into chat for our starting here. Okay, so WTF Love, good morning. Could I use the board in a browser and zoom in? Yeah, that would, I don't know if I can. So these are boards through GitKraken, and I was actually thinking that I could do this here. I don't know if GitKraken has a web interface for it. Open in browser. Let's see, sign in with GitHub. Ooh, okay. The answer is yes, I can. All right, let me see about opening you over here. That way I can keep chat up over here. All right, okay, we can totally do this. Now I can zoom in like that. And now it's visible. Thank you, WTF Love, for that suggestion. All right, so right now, so what we've done so far, as a player, I want to see the world. So we have, I mean, the world was pretty simple. It was just the blue ocean. I want to see the box dropper. So we have that on the top of the screen. Kind of difficult because I can't see it over on this window. So that's just moving back and forth. And then, of course, I want to be able to command a box to drop. So something that might be nice to add in is like what the actual command is, and like put that somewhere. So I should probably add a card for that. As a player, I want to see, I guess, like instructions for how to play the game. Right now, so it doesn't interfere with the other chat bot that I have, I have it as hash drop. So hash drop like that. And that drops that just drops a box. They're all green right now, but we do have a story for fixing that. Just no, don't give me notifications. Okay, so as a player, I want to have my box stick when it hits the platform. Okay, so right now we saw with one of my earlier ones, it just sort of went through the platform. So we want to, as part of this, have some kind of collision detection between the box and the platform. So we have main.js. Here's our draw function. So box dropper update. When it updates, we want the box dropper to check to see if it is colliding with the pattern. The other thing, we might want to like check that outside. Here, instead of like update, so update just moves it. We could then, for each box, check to see if it collides with the. Okay, that I think I like that more. Luckily, we're not going to have them collide with each other at this point in time. That is something that I have thought about last night, which was like adding some physics and maybe some like collision stuff, and that might be pretty interesting to do. But I think that's going to be beyond MVP for this project. So looking through this, I also have it running in this browser right here. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't do the drop until I switched back to it. That's a little fascinating. I want, so each dropper, boxes, we could probably do this on the box, and we have the platform. So we could have a function, is colliding with edge, and then if we collide with the edge, then we can have some kind of like this dot is falling, and we're going to set this to true to, you know, for the default for internal state. And then as long as we are as long as we're in update here, we're only going to run this if we're falling. So if this dot is falling, if that's true, then go ahead and do all these things. We could even have something to mutate this is falling. So we have like a check is falling. We have the check. We could have something that, let's see, what should I name that? Like mutate. I don't want to do a check because that doesn't sound like it's actually gonna to update that. Like handle colliding. Maybe like collide with platform. And then we're gonna take in an instance of the platform. Okay, so collide with platform, hand to the platform. So here's where we're gonna do our AABB bounding box. I guess I do want to eventually do a, well, let's start for right now with just colliding with this. So colliding with platform, we're going to, I always forget the exact algorithm. So we need to check, so if, and this is always the fun calculation here. If this dot location dot x, so let me actually just go to the source that I went to last time, which is MDN, I think bounding box collision. It's kind of funny that they actually have this. Collision detection of two rectangles, which is exactly what we want. So it's kind of perfect. All right, so we have rect1, which is going to be our, I guess we'll just do this as this. And we have, I'll do this dot location, which will handle like this dot location dot x and y. But then width and height, that doesn't make any sense. So we're going to just use this dot width and this dot height. And I have this dot size. So wherever we have this dot width, this is going to be this dot size, this dot size. Okay, that should work there for that. Now we also have this rect2, so that's going to be the platform. Wherever we have platform.x, so platform.x, platform.y, x and y, these are going to be dot location. And then width and height, I believe, are exactly right. So if I run with this, we called, so collide with platform, our collision is detected. So if we do this, this dot is falling equals false. We just stop it from falling and just freeze it in its place. And then in our draw function here, we have all the boxes. We want to now update all the boxes. We have the platform here too. platform doesn't really ever get like updated. So I think we can just do multiple things here. We'll update all the boxes, and we will also box dot, what did I call it? Collide with platform. And we're going to hand it the platform. All right, let's see if that works. Let's drop a bunch of things. See if we can get any of them to fall on the platform. Nope, not even close. I could also, nope, that's not what I want to do. I think I dropped it in the same place, so of course it's not going to work. I could make the platform really big, and that will guarantee that it works. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's come to our platform. Also, the other thing is I realized I probably didn't refresh it, so it didn't necessarily get the new code. Let's check that out here. So if I do width divided by 2, so that's location. If I do the location as, I'm gonna comment those out so I can just do this dot width equals width. It's the full width of the entire screen, and this dot location equals create vector. We're gonna say that it's 0 for the x and height minus this dot height. Okay, yeah, so I saved that and that doesn't update here. And it doesn't update here. So I'm gonna have to come to our stack game and tell it to refresh. Okay, so now in this case, let's make it so we only have one of these games up. Now I should be able to do the drop. And it should stick as soon as it hits the platform. Ah, there it goes. Okay, and so we could have a whole bunch of them just sort of hanging out on a platform like this. All right, so we've got that working, which means that now I can put this back the way that it was before. So I'm gonna remove this temporary width and height, put you back, and reload the page. And so now if you successfully drop and hit this platform, then it's gonna stick on top of it. So that's pretty cool. All right, so as a player, I want the box to stick when it hits the platform. That's saved like that. Let's also go ahead and do a commit. Let's see. Boxes stick when hitting the platform. The way I've also made this is if you successfully hit like the side of the platform, it still sticks and like doesn't go down below the screen. So that's I guess like a nice side effect. I think I like it. It means it can be saved right at the last second. All right, what's next? As a player, I want to get a point when my box hits the platform. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit interesting because when I'm sending up the information from the back end, I'm not sending who did it. So we need to make a change to that. So in my, here's the chat. And so I can see the username from this. but we're going to need to make a change to the back end in order to send the username up front so we can properly give them credit if it hits. So let's come here. Let's go ahead and stop our server, open up another code instance here, and then we'll npm install into developer mode. Oh, I forgot the name of it. There's something that will, every time you save, it restarts the server. Oh man, and I forgot the name of the package for it. It's been so long since I worked in Node. Nodemon, or Nodemon. I think that's what it is. All right, so let's do npx nodemon. That starts, and now it's watching, so it should refresh every single time that it the game restarts. And let's open up you here. Okay, so in our main application, what I want to do is when I send the command drop, I also want to send the player who did it. So my guess is it's probably not the message. Let's console log one of these out. Message and okay, we know that can't be the message because we're just checking to see if it's equal to the exact message that's sent. So let's check to see what the channel is. So if I did that, okay, so it's restarting, and if we just send any message in chat, that didn't work. Do I have to refresh the game? Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So now let's try it. Okay, so that's just the channel that it came in on. That kind of makes sense. Tags. Let's see what those are. So refresh that. This is running. And another test. Okay, so the tags has all the information. Ooh, it also gives me the color. Okay, so this is how we're gonna make the color unique to your display too. So we have the color. And username. Okay, color and username is what I really care about here. I'm gonna move you over to the left. And you over on the right here. Okay, so when I send, I want to send this in some way that I can like easily extract it out again. Wait, color is only present to the user set one? Is there anybody who doesn't have a color? Because I don't remember setting my color, but maybe I did. I could have a default also in case the color doesn't exist. People that don't set it get random color client side. Interesting, okay. I will, I'll have to have a default for that. So I extract the color if that doesn't exist, then go ahead and like set the color to be something. Okay, so we're gonna send drop. You know what we can do? We could create an object and then serialize that with json.stringify and send that up. So let's do that. So const the object that we want to send. So it's our payload. All right, so the command is going to be drop. We already know that. This is just for future proofing in case I want other commands to be part of this. I want to know what their color is. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to say tags.color, but if that doesn't exist, otherwise, we can just do like hash. I don't want to do like black or white. I want to do something like 112233. I don't know what color that is off the top of my head. Oh, and you need to be a string. Display name. Sorry, what was the other thing I was going for? Oh, the name, username. So username is tags.username. Okay, so we set that, and then we're going to send the stringified version of this. So json.stringify the payload. Not the most efficient use of this, but I think decently usable here. So now we're gonna come into our other. Here we're gonna go to main. Here's where our WebSocket on message gets, and currently we're just pushing, creating a new box and dropping this in. So that's actually interesting. We could have the box store the username, and of course the color. That makes a lot of sense. So we're gonna come to a box. So our constructor, we're gonna get a location, a velocity. We're also gonna get a username and a color. So this dot color is gonna get the, I guess, users color, so it doesn't overwrite. So that handles that, and then we want to just store the username. This dot username equals username. Okay, and in main, for we're not even doing anything with event for this, so I want to console.log this event. I think it's something like in data, but I don't remember off the top of my head. This is not going to work right away, so I'm just gonna comment that out. And let's come back to here, hit refresh, open up here, and let's do a message. I guess it has to be the command, so it's going to be drop. And okay, so in data we have this stringified here. Perfect. So back to you. So it's event.data. Thank you for automatically screwing that up. Let's see. I want to do this dot. I guess it's going to be like the data from it. It's the message from the server. It's the command. I don't know, like this dot. I don't need this. We'll just do like const data equals JSON.parse event.data. That is now going to give us all the information we need. So in new box, we're going to take location, velocity, username, color. So we have location, we have velocity, username, that's going to be data dot, and I think it's just username, and then data dot color. So we're going to save that. So theoretically, if we refresh this window, now we should be getting colors based upon what color this is. Let's try that out. So drop. Hey, that's my color, not green. Okay. And I almost was able to land on the platform too, so that would have been nice. And we got your color too. Okay, that's perfect. Oh, that's fun. I have a sort of a green mug today, so it's somewhat see-through. Perfect. So we like two birds with one stone there. So in here, I want to get a point when a box hits a platform. So we haven't finished that. So we need some kind of like point system and maybe to like display the points. Actually, as a player, I want to see my score later. So right away, we want some kind of a score system to store. Do we want to keep that in like a separate file as opposed to in main.js? Probably. Let's go ahead and create score.js and index.html. Score.js there. All right, we're gonna do a class score. We'll have a constructor. This dot scores equals probably an array. And I'm gonna want to have something like add score for that. An array allows us to like have it in order, so we can basically put in like whatever order you're in, like who's on the top or not. And I'm thinking we get a point if our box is on the screen. If it's off the screen, we lose that point. So we can either that, or as soon as it like hits and contacts with the what is it called, the platform, then that's when we score. That could be sort of an event-driven system then, because as soon as the box is colliding with the platform, we want to submit the event and like, ooh, something happened. So we're gonna have, of course, like regardless of what I do, if I have an array, I keep it in order. But if I have an object, then I can easily find it by username, because I can store, the equivalent would be something like WTF blub : like 5. You could have, that might be it. It would be very easy for me to say, ooh, what's your username? Let me increment that, you scored. but then I wouldn't have an order. And if I wanted to create like a top 5 list, I would need to deal with that. Let's do it for right now in an object. And this will just be like all of the scores unsorted. And maybe I need to change the data structure to be an array later. And then I can walk through the array or like a linked list or something like that. Okay, so I want an add score. So we're going to take in a username. It's incrementing it by 1. So we're going to take this dot. We need to check to see if they're in scores first, because you can't increment a number unless it's in there. So what we can do is if this dot scores of position username, if that exists, can I do the new thing? I don't think I can. This has scores of position username. What I was thinking about was the question mark operator, but I still need to add it in if it doesn't exist. And I don't think question mark operator helps me there. So this scores at username. So if that exists, then we want to set this dot scores of username plus equals 1. Otherwise, it does not exist. This dot scores username equals 1. Just set it to 1. And that will add our score into here. Now, how do we know when we get a score? Currently, in main.js, we're checking for all the boxes, we're determining if the box is colliding with the platform. So I could have this return like a Boolean also, and then call the score and increment by handing it that box. Or I could pass the score in, and it could then tell the score that it did it that way. Or I could have an event notification system, and it calls that. The event notification system might be a little bit overkill for just if I only need one of these things. If I need more of them, then probably refactor would come handy. Let's have it happen here. So we want collide with platform. The box, we want this to return true or false. So that's the if. We want to return true. Otherwise, return false. We're going to come back to main here. So if box is colliding with the platform, then now here we want the score. All right, so score equals new score. I don't think we need to store anything, and now we can do score dot add score. And then we're going to take the box and hand it the username. And I think that'll work. So we're going to save that. Let's go ahead and refresh here. I want to move this to the right so we can actually see this, and let's see if we can get any. See if we can get a score. So if I do that, I should be able to see the score here. There's no scores, and there's still no scores. Now, what I may find out is that we've made this game just a little bit too hard. Then I can increase the size of our platform. Oh man, I can't even do it and I have perfect, like, I can actually see where it is. If I do that there, that far away, I wonder if that works. Oh man, it's so close. We could do the thing where I increase the size of our platform again. Let's comment you out, and this dot width equals width. This dot location. Create vector. Okay, so 0 for the x, and height minus this dot height for u. All right, so refresh. Let's go ahead and do a drop. All right. Apparently I have 372 points. Now I have 901 points. That is the garbage truck outside. Hold on. I am going to close the windows. And mic back on. Okay, so that's nice to have that there. Okay, so my score seems to be just increasing constantly, even though I haven't done anything. I think what's happening is it's just checking to see if it's as soon as it starts hitting, it then just goes on. So every single frame, I'm getting an increased score, which is, I mean, it's nice if you want high scores. But if I only want to get 1 point when I hit the thing, also good morning, Chantilly. Let's make a change to this. I think we do need something very similar to a the observer type pattern here. We need some kind of event that happens. So if I do this in just main.js here, if I have like an event system, I can share objects with events around. I think this would, and if it just becomes sort of like a global, then we want to notify, so we need to notify, the box needs to run some kind of like notify method as soon as something happens. And then the score listens to that and then gets updated as soon as that happens. So because this is JavaScript and because I can pass things around by reference very easily, I could have an object here. So let's say I do something like this. Observations, observers. We just have this be a plain object. We're gonna have just sort of like our list. Maybe we'll just call this event system. We'll have our observers, which is an empty array. We will have register observer. This will take, do I want to be a function or like self? I mean, essentially this will just take an object. Can you also add a variable to your boxes to say has given reward or something? I definitely could do that. That would be easier. That would definitely be faster. Let's just do that. Yeah, good idea, Physics. Also, good morning, Physics. So this dot has given reward equals false. So then our score, we're gonna increment score. So then in our main here, has given reward is false. Okay, so main, this dot add score. So then it has to be like another one. So if box colliding with platform, and box has given reward has been false. So this is like essentially points. This dot like points, and I can subtract that. So I wanted to be have given reward. What's a way I could rename this to be truthy? Points earned. This dot value. Or a reference to a reward. This dot reward. I could do this dot reward equals 1. Like this is how many points, maybe points. This is how many points it's worth. In main, we're gonna add score. So if box dot collide with platform and box dot points, so if that exists and is truthy, then box dot add score, box dot username, and we're also going to say box dot points minus equals to 1. So that goes down to 0. If I do that, let's hit refresh here. So we have our score. Inverse condition, so simplest condition is computed first. Yeah, let's see. Collide with platform. You're right, because that way it doesn't have to do all the different calculations. And if I do have a bunch of these boxes, it will have to do that. So I don't know if that's too much nitpicking. It's a valid concern. And I think especially if we get like a bunch of boxes on a screen at the same time, it could potentially be a problem. We don't know if it's a problem yet. We'll find out over time. Or we could just fix it right then. So thank you, Physics. Let's try doing this reward system. So we'll do a drop here. So my scores is empty. I should now get a score. My score is 1. If I check my score again, It is still 1. Okay, so now we all get only one point whenever we hit this, I don't know, platform is what I'm calling it. Let's go ahead and consider this ticket is done. Oh, perfect, and it got your color too. Excellent. So I want... Oh, that's interesting. I have... On this main one, we never reset it, so it has it's still only a single small platform in the middle. That's nice. Let's see where we are with this. We get a point when we hit the platform. So let's send this code on up. A point is rewarded for every box that hits the platform. Push that on up. Oh no, miss is identical to the one entered 30 seconds ago. Does that mean you have to wait for 30 seconds to do it? That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what a way to get around that. I don't know if I want to get around that. We could just say, yep, you're limited. You can only do one box per, one drop per 30 seconds or so. Which is, I guess it's nice to prevent you from like just spamming. Probably. Okay, this is where it's gonna get interesting. As a player, I want to have my box stick when it hits another box. But probably only when it hits another box that's standing still. If they're falling, I want them to just sort of fall, like if they're falling and hit each other, because let's say both like people do a drop at the exact same time in chat, they're gonna come out together. I don't want them to like just sort of freeze right there. I want it to, if you hit like on top of this, it stops right there. So we can like stack the boxes up. Pretty hard to time the drop with a slight delay though. Yeah, no, I think that's like the game. I've noticed that with a lot of the other dropping games that I've seen on Twitch, it's just sort of random where you start. And it's also random like the velocity that it goes down. With this one, I don't have any randomness besides the lag. So I guess like if you could predict my lag, this is a way for you to track my lag too. Because you could actually calculate what the lag is based upon when it starts coming out. That's the, yeah, I don't think there's a way for me to know what the ping of your players is, because I don't know when you decided to yeah, because I just know when you chat, and chat is instantaneous. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The people who like figure out what the lag is, and lag is usually consistent. Usually, except if I get a whole bunch of drop frames or something, that might cause problems. We may need to like increase the size of the platform. See, this one, I think this one's gonna work. Oh, okay, or not. Maybe this one? Just, oh, almost. So close. Okay, so if I how do I want to have it so they stick and hit each other? This is gonna be interesting because now I have to do a loop for each box. So it's gonna be okay, loop, 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 loop. Each box is gonna have to check the other boxes and if they're still falling. So I need like a sub array of the boxes that are no longer falling. Can I get that? Right now we just have this box here. At the beginning of the frame, I probably want now two arrays. I want falling boxes and I want not falling boxes. Boxes that are sort of stuck. Ooh, good job, Vrizix. I also like the fact that I can tell that it was you because of the color. Okay, I think this will work. I want to change this to falling boxes and const. This is going to be like stuck boxes or landed boxes. Landed boxes is another array. JM Frank, good morning. Every box against every box is not scalable. Better to use a grid and only check adjacent grids. That's a good idea too. Although, do I lose smooth motion with that? I'm not thinking that I need to do every box against every other box. I only need to check the not falling boxes. We don't have too many of those. I'm gonna start with this method, but you may be right that it will eventually get like just overwhelm too many checks. But this will like limit it down to only ones that have survived. So to begin with, everything starts as a falling box. So we're going to do, this is falling boxes dot push into here. Then we're going to do falling boxes dot for each. We're going to update the falling boxes. Oh, and here's where it's nice. We don't even need this this scoring system anymore. This points doesn't matter anymore. This dot falling true, that doesn't matter anymore. We don't need that. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna say, okay, box.update. So, okay, if it's a falling box and you're updating, we don't need the box.points anymore. If we collide with the platform, we're gonna add the score for the boxes. And instead of doing the box points, we now need to remove it from this array. So that's gonna be interesting. And we need to move you to the landed boxes. So first of all, we can push you into the landed boxes. So landed boxes dot push box. Removing it from this array is going to be interesting because I don't want to actually do that during this time. So maybe I do want to have some kind of like is landed. This dot is landed. Equals false. In main, we're gonna do box dot is landed, set this to true. Now at the end here, at the end of draw, I want to now remove, like filter all of the landed boxes out of falling. So I'm thinking falling boxes equals falling boxes dot filter. We're gonna get a box, and so we want a box dot not box dot is landed. And that's it. So now it shouldn't, we should still not get the score that's increasing. And now we can have two different arrays. So we can only check against the landed boxes. True, but it's quite some work though. Oh, you're answering JM Frank for like the grid-based system. I think quadrants would be good. If I could like calculate which quadrants are in. For right now, I'm basically gonna say only check against landed boxes, which will limit the number of boxes that I'm checking against quite a bit. And also physics, you're correct too, as well. If we have, if I just don't have that many people playing, then it doesn't matter. So, but like obviously it is a scaling problem. So I'll probably deal with this as we, ooh, good job, right out of the center too. I will probably not worry about it right now until I see the effects of it. We don't even know if this is going to be something popular I want to keep on the stream forever. So I'll keep it as a something that's really, really important to think about though. All right, so we have that. Now we have the falling boxes for each box. Inside of here now, we can do another loop. So we want to see if we're colliding with another box. And if we are, so if we collide with a platform, that's one thing. Or if essentially box collides with a landed box. So like we do collide with landed box. And so here we're gonna have the landed boxes. We're just gonna pass those in. And then everything should stay the same. We land it, we push it to the box, and then we go from there. So this is gonna be collide with landed box. This is landed boxes. I want to do this exact same calculation essentially, but now for each of these. So let's do, and if it hits it, I want to return as soon as possible. So I may not want a for each loop because there's no early returns from those. So let's just do a normal for loop. So for let, is it of? I think it's of. So that landed box of landed boxes. I think that's how it works. This should give me the box and not the ID. And then we want to essentially do this entire fun thing. Just the return false is going to come after the for loop. So if, and so our location, and so wherever we have platform location, you're gonna have to be a landed box dot location, and oh, we have instead of width. So when we have landed box dot width, you're gonna have to be size. Size there. Okay. We'll find out if this works. Basically, it's if we reach the end of this, we've looped through them all, we haven't hit them. Otherwise, we have them and we do an early return. And so we don't have to check through every single one, potentially. Also, we only do these checks if we fail to hit the platform. Okay. And then it should freeze in place. Let's try it. So I've saved that. I'm gonna refresh, which moves everything from. Ooh, that's indication of a bug. Boxes is not defined. Right. I failed to finish updating these. So this was boxes on line 46. So draw all the things. We're now going to need to loop through. This is going to be our. We need a landed boxes. And we also need this to be falling boxes. So render all of those. Okay, so we're back to work. Invalid assignment to const falling boxes. Yep, we need you to be a let. Okay, that's happy. I don't need this to be the giant one anymore. Let's come back to platform. And I'm going to comment you out and comment you in. Okay, nice and center, and there we go. Let's now see if they hit each other. But of course, this is going to be. This is like the question: can we actually get them to land on a platform and then land on each other? Like, we actually have to get it to work in that way. So that's the entire fun thing. Let's try that. Oh no, I overshot that. Undershot that one. Maybe something like that. Okay, so I hit the side. Now we need somebody to hit that. Oh, and you hit the side too. Perfect. Chantilly. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I saw your drop and oh, you haven't set your color. And that's why it's at. And it worked. You got it, Chantilly. So they hit each other now. And they land on each other. Perfect. Now what I haven't done is check the score for that, but I think the score should be working just fine. So let's go ahead and update where with this. I want to have my box stick when it hits another box. Done. Your evil laugh. And then over to here. Boxes now stick to other boxes. Okay. I don't ever remove boxes. Do I have these? No. Okay, so for performance things, Jam Frank, how do you define your color? Let me see if I can do that on myself. How do I do it on myself? Chat settings. I think it's this. So if I come over and show this, I think it's over in chat settings here. No, I can't do that. Switch to non-mode settings. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you can go to identity and then set your color to be whatever you want. So if I wanted like this Dodger blue or this cadet blue. I think I'm in cadet blue. So I can switch myself to maybe this this spring green. My color has been changed. So let me do something that's not like Chantilly spring green. I'll go to this nice sort of like forest green. And now if I do drop, it's that new color that I've got. So that's how you change your color. Ah, and I hit the side, so perfect, perfect timing too. Of course, I have like a dark background, so if you have, you know what, my defaults are not the best default. If we come over to this other platform, come over to here. Here's the default color is. If you don't have one, this doesn't seem very good here. Let's find a better color to use. You know, I could also do a random number, like a random color. But I think maybe let's do white. So that'd be FFF, I think. So if I save you, we need to refresh this, unfortunately, to make it catch the new changes in the server. But now if you drop without a color set, it's white. Perfect. All right. That of course set the score over again. Oh my gosh, physics, the last pixel. Perfect. All right, so we've got that. Boxes are sticking to each other. I can push that code up. What is next on our board? As a player, I want to get a point when my box hits another box. I'm pretty sure we already have this set up and working. If I take a look at the score, yeah, I think, I don't know why I have two. There might have been some calculations where it wasn't displaying. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to remove the boxes from the falling array if they drop below the screen before it would crash my browser or OBS, because that would not be fun. So at the end of here in main, we want to now so let's see, inbox, let's do is below screen. We're going to return true, so this dot location dot y, that's the top left of it. So if that's greater than height, so y is the top part of it. I don't want the bottom part. I want like the top part. If that's greater than the height, and just for like to make sure, this dot size, just to make sure. So we return this as a Boolean, and now inside of main, under draw, we're filtering out all the falling boxes. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Falling boxes, we could just do it in here. So if it's not is landed, or, is that right? I want to return true. If not is landed, or box dot, what did I call it? Is below screen. So if we're not below the screen. So we'll save that. Theoretically now, we should have not too many of these boxes. What I can do is I can console log out just for temporary sake. I'm going to console log the following boxes.length so we can see how many of them we have. And then over here, I'm going to refresh so we can see it's 0. And let's do some drops. Okay, so it's 1. And then as soon as it drops below this blue line, it drops back down to 0 again. Did I do that correct? So it's 1. Did I break it so it doesn't... Okay, that one made sense. Will one of these hit? Mine might hit. Oh, both of them. Oh no, I broke it. It's not, the collision detection is not working anymore. So right, is colliding with platform or collide with landed boxes? I mean, I thought we got that working. It's the only thing I added here is this is below screen and trying to do that. Just to double check. If I refresh the cache here and we try this again. Paul Hill, good morning. Like one of these hopefully should hit the platform. Oh, no. Yeah, I broke it. I broke it. Do we have a log? No. Of course not. So in here, what were we doing? We can actually take a look at get cracking and see like what are the changes that we made. We made a change in box. I added that is below screen, and in main, we added the filter. And that's it. Those are the only changes that we made. How did that? Okay. Let me put this back. Let me undo the change that we did. So we're gonna do our box is landed. To remove that. And remove that, and this is below screen. We're gonna move that. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, there we go. I undid everything. We haven't made any changes anymore. Refresh. Okay, so now we should be able to do our drops, and we'll see whether or not it can hit the screen. And I'll also refresh here. One of these maybe will work. There it goes. Okay. I was removing it from falling? No, because that's when the only update is happening. Interesting. I don't know why it like that had broken it. So I am gonna have to add that in as like another card. So I get a point when my box sits in another box, so we know we do that. So for next time, I am going to remove boxes from falling after they fall off the screen. Is it possible that the stuck boxes still get updated in their position, so they are removed then? It's possible. We take a look at this. We have in main here, in draw, so we have all the falling boxes. If you're colliding with the platform or you're colliding with another box, with a landed box, you get to add the score, you get put into the landed boxes, and you become is landed true. Then at the end of the loop here, let's put this up here. Then we're going to say, okay, update, reset all the falling boxes. So remove if you're not landed, then you're still falling. So remove everything that's landed from the falling boxes. I mean, so theoretically, that means, well, we know it's not updating any, do we know? Yeah, because the score isn't going up like crazy. With the score is happening only once per box. There's some way that they're interacting with each other that's a little bit weird. So, but we'll have to figure that out next time because it is after 8:20, and I'm gonna have to get ready for my my stand up and the day. So let's set ourselves up a raid here. Pixelogic Dev is streaming. See what he's doing. Over here. Pixelogic Dev. How to build a mobile app with React Native, Golang, and Firebase. I think in the past he's done a lot of just like actually building it. So it sounds like he's doing maybe a tutorial today. That's pretty awesome. We've rated him before. He's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna set the raid up. Pixelogic Dev. Start raid. All right, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by and watching me make this overlay game. We're getting closer and closer to having it like look and be really awesome. And so tomorrow morning we're going to continue on with this. And as you can see, we have several more stories that we need to get through before I would consider that done. So with that, I'm going to switch over to my ending screen. Thank you all for watching. Let's be awesome and friendly to Pixelogic Dev. And with that, I will see you next time.